So about 2 years ago, I purchased the red tool chest you can see behind me from Harbor Freight, and I did an initial unboxing and rough assembly video to show how it gets assembled because the directions that came with it were not really that great at all. And over the past few years, I've started stocking this thing with tools and organizing it in a certain way, but the initial video I did actually has done really well in terms of views, and I've gotten a lot of great comments on it saying it has helped out a lot of people. So I'm guessing this item from Harbor Freight is quite popular. It's pretty affordably priced. So what I wanted to do as a follow-up video to that is create a video and show you guys exactly how I've organized this toolbox or tool chest with all my tools and the way I've laid them out. Because one thing, I'm not the most huge person in being organized, let's say around the house, but when it comes to my garage and my toolbox slash tool cart, I love it being organized, and it just is very satisfying. So that's what I plan to do in this video, is show you guys exactly what tools I've got in the tool chest and how I've organized them. I'd say 90% of the tools that I have in this tool chest are actually from Harbor Freight as well. So this is a very budget-oriented tool chest setup because for me, I'm mostly wrenching like on the weekends on car projects and house projects here and there. I'm not doing it every day as like a mechanic or a tradesman. So I didn't want to drop a ton of money in tools. So Harbor Freight is the perfect place for hobbyists like me. So I just want to preface that, so anybody looking for a budget kind of toolbox setup, this is a great way to go. So let's bring you guys on over to the tool chest over here. I don't know, I call this a tool chest, tool cart, tool box on wheels, you name it, whatever you want to call it. So what I plan to do in this video is, of course, show you how I've organized all the tools I have in here, which will obviously show also what tools I have in here. And now you can see from around my garage, I don't have all my tools stuffed in that box. I do have a lot of power tools and other things like iPro, EarPro over there, but I do have a good amount of my tools in this box here. So this will definitely give you a good idea of the tool set that you could use to get started. Okay, so first and foremost, starting from the top here, you can see with the lid open, most of the time I do leave the lid open, but if you're in a place where you need to close it to be able to lock the box, just consider that how you set this up with the wrenches up here might dictate if it can close fully and lock. But for me being at home here, I leave this open most of the time. So at the top here, first and foremost, we have my ratcheting wrenches and open-end wrenches on these magnetic strips. Now these magnetic strips I also purchased from Harbor Freight. There's two of them bolted together, so two here and two here, and the lid is steel, so the magnet is going to stick to it, and it just makes a really clean and nice way to organize these wrenches, because I use these pretty frequently along when I'm using like a socket or something like that. So it's just a quick and easy way to pull these things off and keep them organized, see which ones are up there. If I've got all seven here, then I know all my wrenches are back. And then the other cool thing, any other tool, so I got a level here with a magnet on one side, and then these little Harbor Freight flashlights are awesome because they are also magnetic. So this top section here is one of the main reasons why I purchased this tool cart setup, because I just love the way the lid opens and you get this nice storage area in the top. So the way I'd seen it done most of the time, and I did a little bit of research to see how other people had set up theirs, was I saw that most of the time they put sockets up here. And this is one of my favorite features of the way this is organized in the top here. So what I did was I got a giant piece of MDF, so that's just basically like particle board, and then all these blue things are socket organizers from Harbor Freight. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's 12 of them up here. So there's 6 over here for metric and 6 over here for SAE, and then I also have some hex and star bits, external bits as well. But this is a great place to keep the sockets organized. Basically these little things are just screwed into the MDF here, so I just spaced them out evenly. I gave a little extra space for the big ones like the 1/2 inch and 3/8 because those sockets take up a little more space. But yeah, I just created a board roughly the size of the top section here, and then put in 12 of those socket organizers, and it makes for a great and easy way to pull these sockets off. The only thing I don't like is these, there's no way to secure these down in the middle, so they do kind of flex. So if I have to like pull this one, it wants to flex, so I kind of have to hold it down and pull it up at the same time, especially with the big ones. But if it's on the end, it's not a problem. But So that's the only downside, but not a biggie. I just hold it down in the middle when I'm pulling a socket up, and it's pretty easy to see like when a certain socket is missing. So yeah, so I've got the, like I said, the metric here, and basically these sockets are all the individual socket sets you can buy from Harbor Freight that are the Quinn brand. So I have the half-inch drive long, 3/8 and short, 3/8 long and short, and then the quarter long and short, and same for the SAE. So these are really nice sockets. I have a whole separate video that goes over these, but I just feel like these are one of the nice quality sockets you can get from Harbor Freight. Over the standard Pittsburgh. They're not as nice as the new Icon ones, but those are actually pretty expensive, believe it or not, from Harbor Freight. So I'm a big fan. You'll see coming here, I'm a big fan of the Quinn line of tools that Harbor Freight sells. But yeah, so then over here I just got a set of Pittsburgh hex drive sockets, and then star drive. You got the external and internal star drive sockets. Over here, so I'm using another one of those socket organizers right here, and this is organizing all my extensions for the wrenches. Over here I just have my 1/2 inch, 3/8 and quarter just kind of sitting up there. Need to figure out a better way to maybe secure those down or just organize them. I'd love to do some shadow foam, but it's just, that's, you know, kind of time consuming. But anyways, so going on the side here, got a tape measure. And then I got on another socket organizer, I got the socket adapters. So that's really crucial if you need to go from like a 1/2 inch to 3/8, you know, vice versa, all the way around. And then I got the angled socket joints right here on the same socket organizer, and then slid down into these are usually holes for like large screwdrivers / pry bars. I have the impact driver kind of adapter bits for my Bauer impact driver over there. So I've got the 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 size there. On this side, I've got my OBD scan tools, my wired ones. I've got my punches, so when I need to punch a starter hole so my bit doesn't walk around. And then I've got my impact wobble joint right there. It's hard to see that. Let me bump up so impact wobble joint, and then also the kind of like universal style joint socket adapter for the impact gun. And then in the back, I have my two different wireless OBD 2 scanners and whatnot. So that pretty much, and then on the side here I've got these magnetic bowls. These are crucial when you don't want to lose hardware, so I kind of just have those sitting on the handle there. But as far as like the top goes, that's pretty much it, and I found this is a pretty clean and easy way to do things, and it allows you to have a variety of different sockets up here, and it just, I don't know, looking at it, it just looks very pleasing. So I just like the look of it. The only thing that I could add is Harbor Freight does sell a folding kind of like shelf that will extend off the side here and then fold down, so at some point I might pick that up. But that concludes the top. So now let's go ahead and get into the drawers on this tool cart. And this tool cart has 5 different drawers, and it gives you a variety of different setups and spaces to store things. So the first one is kind of a skinny one up here. This is where I keep all of my kind of pliers and whatnot. And all my drawers I have lined in this kind of shelf matting that I got from Home Depot. Like, it's just kind of like, it's that Contact brand, and it's just a black, kind of looks like carbon fiber actually. It's kind of cool. And then I use double-sided tape to get it to stick down, because the foam that comes with this toolbox that lines all the drawers and stuff, it's pretty cheap, and it wouldn't stay flat. It would slide around with the weight of the tools and whatnot. So this is a great way to keep that held down with some double-sided tape. So I got my vice grips, a few different sizes. Got my Quinn pliers here and my long reach needle nose. So those are pretty commonly used, so that's why those are at the top. In the second here, I've got adjustable wrenches. So one non-Harbor Freight item is the Husky kind of pick set. And then I've got kind of like a multi screwdriver here, also Quinn. And then over here I've got the SAE and metric hex or Allen key kind of sets. So that's kind of, and then my snap ring pliers there. So I kind of just have those like laid out, organized like that. It kind of looks nice, and it's pretty easy to get to. So let's go over to this big drawer here. So So in this one, I've got some pipe cutters. So this is for like PVC or rubber hose. Also a Husky non-Harbor Freight item. Got my hammer here, my gloves, my mechanics gloves. These special, I don't know what these are called actually, speed wrench. I got these as a hand-me-down, so these are pretty cool. Speed wrench. 2 different sizes of those. And I don't think those are Harbor Freight either. And then here I got a Craftsman wrench that's kind of like a universal wrench with like a chain link, and then it kind of, you put it on the end here, and then you can use it to tighten or loosen a variety of different size things, such as like an oil filter or something like that. So, and that's in this drawer. And you know, this is like, you know, I will preface and say, this tool cart is always changing. I haven't like fully added everything I want to this, so so some might look a little empty, but it's just because like I'm in the process of still adding things. So let's go into the next one. Oh, I already showed that one. So this is the first like big drawer, and this is one of my favorite ones. So I just recently added these. So Harbor Freight pretty recently came out with these screwdriver holders and these crescent wrench holders. So they're pretty nice. So you can see here I got my Quinn screwdriver set all nice and lined up, alternating them so they kind of stack nicely. And then over here is just a standard Pittsburgh set of wrenches. So I got, you know, SAE metric, and then I also have the stubby wrenches as well. So this is a cool place, very pleasing to see, you know. I know a lot of people say if you have a clean toolbox it means you're not working enough or you're not working hard enough. Well, I disagree. I think you can have both. So, so yeah, this is one of my favorite drawers. I love the way this looks, and it's really easy to get to with all the screwdrivers and everything. So on to the last drawer. So this is the big drawer. So this is where I keep kind of like my mini sledge, you know, my dead blow, impact mallet, and caliper compressor tool. Just really big tools that don't fit well in the other drawers. Got a pry bar here, grease gun, little a hacksaw, puller tool, and then I keep a lot of my my cutoff wheels and grinding wheels in here as well. Oh, and then my reflective mirror. Need to get one of those magnetic pickup tools. Still don't have one of those guys. So yeah, that's the big drawer. And then the bottom is kind of just like an open setup down here. So I've got 2 not impact wrenches, 2 torque wrenches, and that's the 1/2-inch drive and 1/4-inch drive. I still need to get the 3/8. Then I've got this little organizer tray for all my different this is just for like general house. I just built a deck recently, so I was doing a lot of like woodwork, so I've got a lot of wood screws and just general construction screws. So I'm probably going to get a few more of these guys to just organize general hardware and whatnot. And then over here I've got my impact bit set from Harbor Freight. So in the occasional use when I use my impact gun, I've got that there. Although I have ran into a few times where I do need the deep impact sockets, so I will be probably getting those in a little while. And then I've just got some like pipes here that I use as like a breaker bar. So it's also kind of important to have. And then on the side, last really thing, on the side here is a little nice shelf. This came with the cart, it's not an add-on. This is where I keep all my liquid wrench, my WD-40, brake clean, and then I've got a butane torch over there as well. So that pretty much does it. I'd say one of the big tools that I don't have in here at the moment is my multimeter, which would go in here. I'm using it for a project at work right now, but that's kind of my tool setup, and I feel like, you know, that gives you a pretty good starting point for needing to do different projects on your car, your go-kart, or just around the house. So that's going to do it for this quick little video on my Harbor Freight tool chest walkthrough and how I've organized all the tools I've got in there in this kind of like budget-oriented tool chest setup. Now, if you've got the same tool chest or a similar tool chest to this one, and you've set it up a little bit differently, or if you got a little bit some different tools in there that I don't, please leave a comment below. I'm always happy to hear feedback, and that creates a cool conversation for other people to learn from each other as well. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, already, definitely subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of awesome videos coming. I'm about to film a video right after this diving back into my Corvette builds. So if you're interested in some cool Corvette content that also involves some 3D printing, definitely subscribe to the channel. So thanks again, guys. Other than that, I will see you in the next one.